That aircraft sitting on the runway loaded with weapons, an armored cockpit, and 8 hardpoints started life as a crop duster. It's called the OA-1K Skyraider II, and despite looking like an agricultural aircraft, it's one of the newest attack planes built for US special operations. Not because it's cheap, not because it's old, but because it solves a problem that America's most advanced fighter jets never could. For decades, the US military built aircraft designed to defeat the world's most sophisticated air defenses. But today's conflicts often look very different. Every time an F-35 launches to destroy a cheap drone, a pickup truck, or a small insurgent position, the math works against America. The aircraft doing the mission can cost tens of thousands of dollars per flight hour, while the target may cost only a fraction of that. The Pentagon has known that imbalance wasn't sustainable. That's where the OA-1K Skyraider II comes in. It isn't replacing the F-35. It's solving a completely different problem: the growing gap between the cost of America's aircraft and the cost of the enemies they're being asked to destroy. What Comes Next explains how America's most advanced Air Force found itself losing the cost battle against some of the world's cheapest weapons, and why a turboprop that began life spraying crops became one of the Pentagon's most unexpected answers. This is Conflict Vector, where we decode the logic behind modern warfare. On October 4, 2017, a 12-man team of U.S. Army Green Berets and Nigerian soldiers was ambushed near a village of Tongo Tongo in Niger. The firefight lasted over an hour. 4 American soldiers were killed. The team waited over an hour for air support that could not reach them in time. Not because no air support existed, but because the right kind of air support, persistent, close, affordable, deployable to remote locations without a prepared airfield, did not exist in sufficient quantity where it was needed. That ambush directly accelerated the Armed Overwatch program. It put in motion the development of the aircraft in the thumbnail of this video. But the Tongo Tongo ambush was only the human face of a much larger structural problem: the economic one. The F-35A costs approximately $30,000 per flight hour to operate. The A-18 Super Hornet runs close to $25,000 per hour. Even the A-10, the cheapest traditional combat aircraft in the US inventory, operates at roughly $19,000 per hour. Now consider what these aircraft are increasingly being sent to engage. A Houthi FPV drone costs between $500 and $2,000 to manufacture. A Taliban pickup truck with a machine gun mounted in the bed costs less than a few $1,000s. An insurgent mortar position costs nothing but manpower and a tube. These are not high-value targets that justify the operational cost of a 5th-generation stealth fighter. Sending a $30,000 per hour jet to kill a $500 drone is not a military victory. It is a budget hemorrhage with wings. The ratio is not 2-to-1 or even 10-to-1. In the worst documented cases from the Red Sea operations in 2024, American naval aviation was spending more than $2 million per engagement plus flight costs against threats that cost adversaries under $2,000 each. A 1,000-to-1 cost exchange ratio, sustained across hundreds of engagements, against an adversary that can manufacture replacements faster than the United States can write the procurement contracts for missiles. This was the economic trap of modern warfare. The Pentagon couldn't keep spending tens of thousands of dollars an hour to destroy targets worth a few hundred. Eventually, it stopped asking how to make fighter jets cheaper. It started asking a different question: what if the mission didn't need a fighter jet at all? The air tractor AT-802 first flew in 1990. It was designed to spread fertilizer and fight wildfires. Its airframe was built to be rugged, simple, and maintainable by crews with basic tools in remote locations. It could carry enormous payloads relative to its size and operate from unimproved dirt strips without ground support equipment. These are not the properties of a war machine. These are exactly the properties of a war machine designed for the environments where the United States keeps finding itself fighting. L3 Harris militarized the AT-802 into the AT-802U Skywarden. The cockpit and engine compartment received composite ballistic armor. The fuel tanks became self-sealing. The airframe was reinforced to carry weapons across 8 hardpoints, with a total payload capacity of 6,000 pounds, more than some dedicated strike aircraft. The landing gear was hardened for unpaved strips. An AN/ALE-47 countermeasure system, the same flare and chaff dispenser carried by the FA-18 Super Hornet, was integrated for survivability. In 2022, SOCOM selected the AT-802U as the winner of its Armed Overwatch competition and redesignated it the OA-1K. In February 2025, AFSOC formally named it the Skyraider II, a deliberate callback to the Douglas A-1 Skyraider, the propeller-driven attack aircraft that flew close air support in Korea and Vietnam, and was renowned for its ability to stay on station, absorb punishment, and deliver ordnance with precision. The name was not nostalgia, it was a doctrinal statement. The first operationally configured Skyraider II arrived at Hurlburt Field, Florida in April 2025. SOCOM is under contract for 62 aircraft at a total program cost of $3 billion, approximately $40 million per unit, including classified mission systems. The operating cost is in the low thousands of dollars per flight hour. That last number is the entire argument. But the raw cost per hour is only part of the math. The deeper equation involves what the OA-1K replaces and how much that replacement saves. When a SOCOM team operates in a remote environment and requires air support, the standard response is what the military calls a stack. A stack is a layered formation of aircraft, each providing a single specialized function simultaneously. A typical stack includes an ISR drone providing surveillance, a fast jet providing strike capability, an AC-130 gunship providing persistent fire support, and a U-28 Draco providing communications and coordination. These aircraft orbit simultaneously over the objective, each contributing one piece of the capability picture. SOCOM Commander Lieutenant General James Slife told Congress directly the cost of generating that typical stack averages $150,000 per flight hour. The OA-1K Skyraider II was designed to replace the entire stack with a single aircraft operated by two people. It carries 3 electro-optical and infrared sensor turrets for surveillance and targeting, the same function as the ISR drone. It carries precision-guided munitions across 8 hardpoints, the same function as the fast jet. It can loiter for 9 hours on internal fuel alone, exceeding the endurance of the AC-130. And it includes a data link system connecting ground forces to headquarters, replacing the U-28's communications role. 1 aircraft, 2 crew, 9 hours, 6,000 pounds of weapons, at a fraction of the cost. The math from AFSOC's own testimony: the stack costs over $150,000 per hour to generate. The OA-1K costs a few $1,000s per hour. The capability provided is comparable in the environments the aircraft is designed for. The cost reduction is measured in tens of thousands of dollars per hour of operational time across every mission, every deployment, every theater where small teams operate without conventional support. Capability without affordability is not a strategy, it is theater. But the economic equation is only the first reason this aircraft matters. The second reason is geography, and it changes the math of a Pacific war entirely. The F-35 requires a runway of at least 8,000 feet to operate safely with a full weapons load. Building and defending such a runway in the Pacific Island chain across the dispersed geography that any Taiwan conflict or South China Sea contingency would require is a logistics problem of enormous scale, and an obvious targeting opportunity for an adversary with precision strike capability. China's DF-21 and DF-26 ballistic missiles were specifically designed to strike the fixed airfields that advanced U.S. aircraft depend on. If the runway is destroyed, the F-35 can't fly. The entire investment in stealth, avionics, and weapons systems becomes inaccessible because the concrete it needs to operate from no longer exists. The OA-1K Skyraider II needs less than 1,400 feet of usable surface, a cleared road, a compacted field, a temporary strip cut into an island's interior. Its landing gear is hardened for unimproved surfaces. Its maintenance requirements are low enough for small forward teams without specialized support equipment. This is the IABO application, Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, the Marine Corps' doctrine positioning small distributed forces across island chains to impose costs on adversaries attempting to control maritime corridors. The OA-1K provides those distributed positions with persistent air cover, precision strike capability, and ISR without requiring the logistics infrastructure that make conventional aviation bases lucrative targets. A missile that destroys an F-35 airfield eliminates the aviation capability of an entire region. A missile that destroys one OA-1K position eliminates 1 aircraft. The remaining 14 continue operating from positions that are difficult to locate, difficult to target, and easy to reconstitute. Distributed lethality is not just a naval concept. The propeller aircraft is its air component. The OA-1K isn't replacing the F-35. It's doing the jobs the F-35 was never designed to do. The future of air power isn't one aircraft that does everything. It's using the right aircraft for the right mission. Sometimes that aircraft will be a stealth fighter. Sometimes it will be a turboprop. The battlefield doesn't care which aircraft looks more impressive. It only cares which one wins. And that's why an aircraft that once sprayed crops is now flying combat missions for America's most elite special operations forces.